India produced over 35 lakh tons of plastic waste in the year 2019-2020. That's 50% more than what it had generated 2 years back.
And of that waste, only 9% has been recycled. What happened to the rest of it? Our throwaway attitude towards plastic has created an environmental crisis with far-reaching consequences.
Quieting things. David Common's been looking at that research. David,
time, which have both foreseen and unforeseen consequences.
30 billion with a B.
Okay.
Do you guys know what is this? This is bottled water. Bottled water is drinkable water that has been sealed in sanitary container and sold for human use. Water bottle in this world comes from a variety of sources, including many of the same sources as tap water. Sometimes the water you can buy in a bottle is simply public tap water that has been enhanced in some way, such as changing the mineral content. Other sources of bottled water include springs, wells, and surface waters. Because every human being requires water, water is employed in every human movement. Go to work, school, recreational activities, and so on. So, how bottled water impact on the environment? Many of us buy packaged drinking water without thinking twice, and many plastic bottles end up on beaches, clogging wastewater. Bottled water tainted with contaminants can be harmful to our health. A plastic bottle takes 1,000 years to decompose. Every year, 100,000 marine animals are killed as a result of plastic pollution. Aside from that, the water bottling process produces 2.5 million tons of carbon dioxide into the environment each year. Every year, disposable water bottle garbage washes into the ocean and kills 1.1 million marine life. Why plastic water bottles are bad to the environment? The first reason is not biodegradable. They do not biodegrade because, as you all know, plastic does not decompose and they take a long time to break down into microplastic. These microplastics remain on Earth indefinitely, releasing dangerous compounds into the ecosystem and harming our health. Second, energy consumption. The environmental issue is valid since producing plastic bottles, which are manufactured from petroleum, require massive amounts of fossil fuel. Yes, they are made from petroleum. To make enough disposable plastic water bottles to supply America's annual demand for bottled water, more than 70 million barrels of oil are required. Third, less regulation for bottle manufacturing. There are extremely few and nearly no restrictions in place for manufacturing plastic water bottles, so there are traces of dangerous toxins such as mold, castulates, bacteria, arsenic, and thousands of other contaminants. Lastly, pollution. Plastic water bottles pollute the environment. The landfills in the United States alone are overflowing with 2 million tons of wastewater bottles. All other bottles are thrown, while PET bottles can be recycled. They pollute seas, rivers, and sewage pipelines, among other things, and are harmful to the environment, humans, and animals. Bottle tops made of plastic are not recyclable and frequently wind up in the water. What is tap water? Tap water, often known as municipal water, originates from lakes, rivers, or reservoirs. Before being pumped into homes and businesses, this water is normally treated in a water treatment facility. While some areas have tainted drinking water, tap water is generally safe, convenient, and environmentally beneficial. However, in Malaysia, tap water is not suitable for drinking and requires additional treatment before consumption. Next, we must know the differences between bottled water and tap water. Some people may wonder which option is safe or which tastes better. However, there are also a range of other factors to consider when choosing between bottled water and tap water. The differences between bottled and tap water include the safety, taste, cost, and environmental impact. Bottled water is nearly always healthy and safe, and one of its key advantages is that it may supply clean drinking water to developing nations that lack access to it, such as Sub-Saharan Africa, developing Asia, and developing Latin America. Another advantage is the capacity to supply potable water in situations of emergency, convenience on the go, and variety of flavors and sources to match consumer preferences. The biggest disadvantages of bottled water are its environmental effect and expensive cost. In affluent nations, municipal tap water is typically just as safe and helpful as bottled water. The main advantages of tap water are its low cost and reduced environmental impact. The disadvantages include a higher risk of pollution from external sources, the significant expense to governments of creating and maintaining the necessary infrastructure, and the poor world's lack of well-functioning and clean tap water system. There were some solutions how to reduce the use of plastic bottles. First, get a reusable water bottle. Second, use glass or aluminum containers to store your filtered water. Third, stop buying single-use bottles and buy a pack of reusable bottles instead. Fourth, reuse your old plastic bottles for household purposes, such as vases, flower pots, plant containers, travel mug, waste bins, small toys, makeup brushes holders, storage box for kitchen supplies. Next, use a filter to purify your tap water. Last but not least, recycle your empty plastic bottles properly. Like most supermarkets offer a bottle recycling service to bring empty plastic bottles and get a discount on the next purchase.